A night the world never saw, the vow that changed everything. This is a picture the world never saw. No red carpet glow, no effortless smile, no spark in her eyes. Just Kelly Ripa, beloved host, mother, wife, curled into a small, shaking shape outside an ICU room, whispering prayers into trembling hands. The woman who fills every morning with warmth and laughter was living the longest night of her life. And inside that ICU, behind cold glass and unforgiving fluorescent light, lay the man she believed she might lose by sunrise, Mark Consuelos, her partner in every adventure for nearly 30 years. To us, they've always looked untouchable, television's golden couple. Soulmates who somehow hold on to the magic year after year. The pair who make love in your 50s and 60s look like a masterpiece still being painted. But the truth, the kind that never makes headlines, is that even the strongest love is tested in the dark. And this was their darkest hour. It began as ordinary as any Tuesday. Mark had been away working, brushing off a tightness in his chest as indigestion, maybe stress, maybe fatigue. You know how it is at this age. Aches blend into the background. We power through. We assume it's nothing. Until it isn't. When the call came, Kelly's world split clean down the middle. There were words no one ever wants to hear. Cardiac event, critical, ICU. And suddenly, all the glitter, all the noise, all the comfort of the familiar life they'd built evaporated. The man she kissed goodbye that morning was now fighting for each breath. And as the hours crawled by, Kelly sat in that stiff hospital chair replaying the life they'd created. Not the glamorous parts, but the quiet, ordinary treasures. The first tiny apartment they loved more than any mansion, the chaotic mornings packing school lunches, the way they always gravitated toward the same side of the couch without thinking. And that's when it hit her. Sharp and unforgiving. They had fallen into the someday trap. Someday we'll travel more. Someday we'll slow down. Someday we'll make time for the things we always talk about. But someday is a fragile promise, one that can disappear with a single phone call. Somewhere in that sleepless, heart-crushing night, something inside Kelly shifted. A clarity rose up through the grief and the fear, steady and undeniable. She leaned over Mark's still body, rested her forehead gently against his, and made a vow. A private, trembling vow she had never spoken to anyone before that night. If you stay, if you fight, we will not go back to the life we had. We will build a new one. One where we come first. Not work, not obligations, not endless schedules. Just us. Our joy. Our time. Our connection. She didn't know if he could hear her. She didn't know if he would live long enough to remember it. But she said it anyway, because it was the truth her soul had been begging her to face. And then, slowly, quietly, miraculously, Mark began to fight his way back. Recovery was not glamorous. It was humbling, vulnerable, and painfully slow. This fierce, independent man had to surrender to being cared for. He had to let go of pride and lean, really lean, on his wife. And in that tenderness, their love deepened in a way neither had ever experienced. When Mark was finally strong enough, Kelly told him about her vow. What happened next surprised even her. He didn't resist. He didn't brush it off. He didn't pretend he was ready to jump straight back into the life they knew. He said, "Good, I don't want to go back either." And that was the moment everything changed.
Together, they began quietly stepping back from the frenzy. They turned down offers that looked shiny on paper, but stole time from the life they were building. They protected their mornings and evenings like sacred ground. They stopped living by the demands of the world and started living by the rhythm of their own hearts. Then, another challenge came, the one no parent is ever fully ready for. Their children left home. The house grew quiet. The rhythms of family life dissolved. For many couples, this is the moment the distance creeps in. The moment you look at each other across the breakfast table and wonder, now what? Who are we without the kids? But Kelly and Mark didn't let the silence swallow them. They let it reshape them. They reinvented themselves as partners again. They traveled, intentionally, joyfully. They said yes to small, creative projects together. They rediscovered each other in the simplest ways: lingering breakfasts, sunset walks, inside jokes only decades of love can create. And then came the decision that stunned everyone. They bought a home in Italy. Not a vacation house, a second life, a sanctuary built on the very vow born in that ICU. Italy held their earliest memories as husband and wife. It was where they had slipped away to honeymoon in secret. A return not just to a place, but to a feeling. The electric, passionate beginning of their love story. This wasn't retirement. It was rebirth. A conscious, intentional choice to live the rest of their lives with fierce joy and stubborn presence. To trade the spotlight for sunsets, the noise for connection, the endless pace for a life that finally felt like theirs. So the emotional farewell tabloids whispered about, it wasn't a farewell between Kelly and Mark. It was their joint goodbye to the life that nearly stole them from each other. A farewell to fear, a farewell to waiting for someday, a farewell to living for everyone but themselves. And that is why when you see them now, with that unmistakable glow that only comes from surviving something you don't talk about, you'll understand the truth. Their love story isn't legendary because it was easy. It's legendary because they chose each other again, and again, and again. They rebuilt. They recommitted. They rewrote their future with brave, trembling hands. And their journey is a reminder for every one of us. It is never too late to make a new vow. Never too late to put love first. Never too late to choose the life your heart has been waiting for. Not someday, not later, not eventually, but now.